Moms Rising is a heartfelt exploration of the beauty and the resilience of motherhood, where it looks at mothers who managed to defy the odds to bring about a better world for their children by looking at both the triumphs and the challenges. It is directed by Scott Cervine and it's spearheaded by entrepreneur, storyteller, executive producer, certified coach and mother Lerato Sithole, who both join us now to chat a little bit further about their offering. Oh, thank you so much to the both of you for joining us. Welcome to the SABC. At this point, following the premiere, talk to us about the need to tell this story, the timing of it all.
Well, you know, I thought I knew that we have a need to tell the story. But after the premiere, we are actually overdue. We are late in bringing the story into our community, into our continent. Because of the feedback that I'm getting, that Scott and I are getting, it's, you know, these are the words that are coming out: life-changing, transformational, purpose searching. So people are on a quest to search for their purpose. That's the outcome of what happened after they've watched Moms Rising. And someone actually wrote me a message and say, we've been on and on after COVID trying to survive and thinking, you know, the world is against us. Things are happening to us. But after watching the movie, that person said, it actually helps you to go inside yourself and say, what do you have that you can use for yourself and that you can give for other people? So, and that's exactly what we wanted to achieve. And we obviously, we wanted to start by saying it's moms, but this is more than moms. This is motherhood. It touches both moms and dads, uncles, brothers.
Boy, I'm such a lucky director. Sometimes I feel like I'm called to make these films. When I first get the calling, so to speak, it's not always clear how it's going to turn out. You just kind of move on faith. And I felt that with this project. I felt like it kind of picked me. And, you know, some people would probably think, well, what's this guy doing? What's this dude doing directing this film called Moms Rising? And, you know, it's a valid question, but I just got to say it felt so clear, and it was a lot of because of my own mother.
How would you say your own mothers have played a role in influencing your journey? Who have been some of those figures that have stood out for you?
And this is one of the things that I tell in the movie. I grew up, my mom and dad, you know, were not in the same place. We're not married, but I had both of them. And just watching from a distance on, you know, what my mother does. Most of the time, she was not with me. She was studying, so she had to go and study about where in Nelspruit, what 400 k's away, if not more. And I would see her occasionally. So I started really staying with my mother full time at the age of 16. But at the times when she was away, it was her perfume, you know. I remember she loved opium. I don't know if she remembers that. So when I remember her, I would take one of her, in fact, I probably would hide one of her clothes that has her perfume so that when I miss her, I would like just, you know, get the smell. And I can now that I'm older, I can actually realize that she would come, but because she had to go back and leave me, I would just see her gone. See, she probably didn't want me to say goodbye because it would be painful. And then I was brought up by her sister, my aunt, you know, very nice upbringing, you know, she did her best. But, you know, your mother is your mother. And yeah, I started staying with her at 16 and 19, I was getting married. So that wasn't a lot, right?
It is based on Napoleon Hill's 13 Principles in Think and Grow Rich. Talk to us about the convergence of incorporating this into the storytelling process.
Moms Rising is a film of Napoleon, of Think and Grow Rich, so that's what I can say. And maybe, Scott, you want to just take a step back on the first film, how the first film came through. So
yeah, you know, many people have heard the title, Think and Grow Rich. It's one of the top 10 most widely read books of all time, which is wild when you think about it. You see the Bible, you see Da Vinci Code, Harry Potter, and then you see this book, and you're like, well, what is it about this book that has inspired people so much? And a lot of people think it's directly tied to the get rich part of it. Actually, I have a theory that it's not.
It is definitely not.
That it has something way more deeper than that. Like, to me, the theme of that book is that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, you have some innate gift that you can bring to the world that nobody else can bring.
Yeah.
And if you don't bring it, the world will not have it.
Because at large, it also restores agency. You know, you've got African storytellers who are part of this. The world's story is incomplete without Africa's version. And some of the themes that you explore speak to, you know, forgiveness, resilience, and triumph at large. What's been unearthed on that front?
Oh, so much. Yeah. You know, I was reading the other day that there's scientific studies now that authentically being nurtured, being appreciated, can rewire your brain. And that correlates directly to motherhood for me, because where do you get more authentic nurturing than from your mom? So that can physically rewire the brain, and so that's a powerful trait. But here's the interesting thing. Once you experience that, like once I experienced that from my mom, I'm now suddenly endowed with that ability as well. So I can go out into the world. So I try to do that when I'm filming. I'll look at every member on the crew and really appreciate them for what they are, what they do, and they feel that, they reciprocate the energy, and this can apply anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what your job is, doesn't matter what you're doing in life, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or where you come from. It's a powerful force that was bequeathed to all of us, I believe, by the motherly spirit.
What has been the creative process like, the filming process? I mean, this all took place in Hollywood. There were collaborations the world over. How would you say this has also managed to, you know, be incorporated into this latest offering?
It's funny, you look at people here, Hollywood, and it's kind of this giant little country unto itself. It's so big and so massive, and so much media comes out of there. But you know what's funny is even though there's these giant $100, $200, $300 million films that come out of there and are quite beautiful and do well, you know what really still makes an impact in spite of all that? Someone who is authentic and genuine and on a path. Someone who is after something, someone on a quest. That can just light up that town like you've never seen. And suddenly the biggest people in the industry are going, well, who's that? And it's just somebody being real, authentic, on a mission, and man, does it have an impact. And so as a director, I'm always after that. I'm like a laser beam, you know, what's the latest story that has a true, genuine path to it? Who's after something? And so it's just a match made in heaven, I think. You know, I mean, we were both enmeshed in this content, this Napoleon Hill content, which is so inspiring. But then you have to be really after something. And Lerato walked into the studio, and I felt like I've known her for 1,000 years from the first time I met her. And to be honest, I got swept into her orbit. Her spirit is so powerful, and she has such clear intention. I was just swept right into it. So part of me feels like I'm just along for the glorious ride. I feel so grateful, you know. And I do think maybe who knows what your beliefs are. Maybe we have been together before.
This process has obviously culminated into this offering. Just lastly, what would you want people to walk away with? How has this forever changed you as a person as well?
I want them to be transformed. I've overused that word, but maybe let me say, I want them to seek their purpose. Who am I, and what do I want the most in life? And I think all the stories, that's what they dig inside, pull out of a person. And a lot of the people that have given me feedback since Saturday, they have that with many question marks. So they are now on a journey to say, what is my purpose in life?
Yeah, you know, I actually haven't thought about this before until right now, but I think what I would love for people to get from the film is that there's power and strength in vulnerability. You know, everybody is really uptight lately, a lot of people are, me included. And a lot of it is because we're trying to control things. And I think if we could just go back to that initial lesson that many of us got from our mothers, is that it's okay to feel that darkness, whatever you're feeling right now. And it's okay to feel those feelings. It's okay to let the grief out or whatever the feeling is. That is your portal to transformation that will burst wide open. So a lot of people will see this film and they'll get very emotional, and it's actually a healing process for them. It's a cathartic process for them.
Absolutely, and we want to, we're working together with the cinemas. We really want to be showing it for the next 3 months before it can be downloadable. So of course we want the word to spread through all the provinces at this point, and with the representatives that we are putting partnerships together with outside of South Africa, we also want to be on a quest of doing that. But it is a start of something that is not going to be stoppable. Every Mother's Day we are rising, moms rising every Mother's Day from now until there's a reason why we should stop, but we're not stopping. So we are already looking into the 12th of May 2025, whatever date is that Mother's Day is going to be. And that's where it starts.
Well, thank you to the both of you for sharing your story. Thank you for also using your art as a healing process. It's definitely, such a befitting time. It premiered just before Mother's Day. We're looking at the role of nurturing, of motherhood, and obviously how people can just overcome their own inertia to grow into who they're meant to be. It really speaks to identity and purpose at large. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave the conversation there for now. Again, Lerato Sithole and Scott Cervine joined us to chat about their latest offering, Moms Rising. It followed the premiere that obviously launched just before Mother's Day, and they were chatting to us about some of the themes, some of the dreams and hopes that they have for the continent at large. For SABC, I'm Liezle Wilson.